What's up, y'all? You know what it is, your boy Zaire Battleton. I wanna talk about this Cassie case, man, because this P Diddy case, Cassie and Diddy case, it's crazy. You see something? Um, all right, so just to y'all already understand, they went through the jury picking, and now trial started. Trial was kind of crazy. Um, Cassie has testified to a lot of things in that case um, that not only would help the prosecutors convict Combs, but also she testified to things that would help the defense fight for Combs' case. Okay, right now it's in a limbo when we're looking at this case. We're saying, okay, yes, he did a lot of just devious things. He did a lot of terrible things, a lot of terrible things. Yes, he's wrong for those things. He's wrong for domestic abuse. He's wrong for rape, or let's say grape, pardon me, because we want to watch the algorithm. But he's wrong for these things. We know that. But there are things that she has confessed to and testified uh, that now will have the jurors questioning her. For one, uh, the intercontinental hotel that she uh, was attacked in, she received a $10 million payment from them. Um, she received $10 million from the Intercontinental Hotel that she was attacked at, and she received $20 million from him. Let this guy break it down for y'all.
All the freak off videos that come in this case came from who? They came from Cassie. Interestingly enough, though the government is prosecuting Diddy, Diddy did not actually have any of the freak off videos. It was Cassie that had all the freak off videos and all the iPads, laptops, phones, etc. that were broken that she held for over a decade. Okay, so Diddy, so Cassie messages Diddy saying, "You want to know the truth? It's way deeper than iPads." Okay, because Diddy was saying something along the lines of, "Hey, you need to get rid of those iPads or give them to me." And Diddy says, "I'll pull up. Don't threaten me. Pay me the money you owe." He's referring to the fact that he had paid her personal trainer, who's now her husband, Alex, money, and he wanted it back. And this exchange was after their breakup in 20.
So now look at that, right? Diddy was basically giving money to Alex, the personal trainer who originally Cassie hired to do freak offs with, right? She breaks up with Diddy 2018 and continues to contact him. The personal trainer is asking him for money, and Diddy's like, yo, pay me my money. These are things that you have to question. If a person is so heinous, if a person is so devious, why continue to go back to them? Why continue to give them the power over you to owe them money, to owe them a favor, to owe them anything, to even have conversation with them? These are things the jurors will question.
2018 check. Okay, so so they did a sidebar after they went through this exchange of the iPad stuff. They did a sidebar, and the defense basically named like 20 exhibits that they were going to use that came from Cassie's phone. Okay, images of the freak off, etc. Which, by the way, the government had used in their direct examination. Now, I got to give the government credit, and for any of you guys that haven't like seen this trial, you guys need to go in there and watch it. For anyone that wants to be a lawyer, this is like some top level fucking litigation going on. So the prosecution let them name all the exhibits that they wanted to bring in, right? And once the defense, because I'm thinking in my head like, holy shit, because they're announcing all the exhibits that they intend to go over, right? And the prosecution lets them mention them. Then when they start getting into the first one, Exhibit 1000, it's like a fucking record scratch, like, and then the government says objection, Your Honor, and then they cite 412 or whatever. Which 412, just so you guys know, okay. And I've talked about this before, but I think it's very important. Rule 412, right? Of the rules of federal rules of evidence, right? Basically, sex offenses cases, the victim. Okay, so there was 412. They were also objecting on, I think it's 603. Yep, oath of affirmation. They were using this. They were, objecting on relevance, speculation, etc., etc. Long story short, of like those 20 exhibits that the defense was trying to use that came from Cassie's phone that they wanted to Uno reverse on her, the government was able to successfully object and got like a bunch of them taken out. And the reason why this is so interesting is because it totally derailed the defense. Okay, they had to recover and find other things to talk about because this is going like they had planned to use this stuff, and then the government
Really?
derailed them. So the AUSA did a really good job on that. And the defense did a good job too, which you guys are going to see here next. So they ended up transitioning, right? After this blunder from the defense and defense that the government did, interestingly enough, the government ended up running defense against the defense to defend their government witness, aka Cassie. Okay. After that blunder, they went into let's see here, her treatment at a facility called Wheelhouse. Okay, and basically she was subject to a bunch of different therapies. She did.
That's another thing too. They were both on drugs. They both did treatment. These are things that the jury is going to take into question. They'll take this into consideration when making their decision.
Neurofeedback. She did it 5 to 6 times total. She did it once a week while she was there. She was there for a little over a month. She did EMDR, which is another thing that, and also something called somatic, which basically helps her reimagine traumatic experiences and kind of get over them. Wheelhouse treats sex addiction, compulsion, love addiction, drug addiction, a bunch of shit. And she was there for a bit. Okay, so they went over her recovery over there. And they also went over how she got off of opiates in 2022. At Wheelhouse, she was given a questionnaire of hundreds of questions. And then they showed a text message from 2014, or no, sorry, January of 2016. And she says to Diddy, I liked me better in the Bahamas. Sorry, I've been upset. I'm frustrated with myself. I'm depressed. I love you. Go have fun. Diddy says, yeah, because I love you and sex with you means a lot to me. I love you too. Do you know, Diddy says, we have a lot of freak offs. We need to have a proper freak off without ketamine. Don't be mad. A successful freak off without ketamine. So they use a lot of ketamine. The drugs that Diddy and Cassie used, guys, were a bunch of.
That's another thing with Cassie. When she gave up the evidence for the text messages, she didn't give them every single message. So when the prosecutors are telling their case, they're talking about the text messages mainly that had the most damage coming from Combs. They're not really saying anything much from the perspective of Cassie until the defense, Diddy's team, his legal team, they look at the text messages and they see all the text messages because they see everything from his phone. And then that's when they're able to pull these records up and they're saying, hold on, but look at what you said. Just pay attention, man. She
Were a bunch of
crazy.
recreational drugs. Okay,
Crazy.
they used GHB, cocaine, ketamine, ecstasy, Molly. Yeah, those are a bunch of party drugs. Basically, is what they used. Oh, and they used the Percocets and oxycodone quite a bit as well. They were both addicted to.
I'm over here smoking weed and I'm like, damn, am I ever gonna quit? am I gonna do this to my old man? And these niggas is over here doing a dozen drugs.
Opiates heavy, especially Cassie. Cassie was addicted to opiates very badly. Let's see here.
Listen, I'm gonna be right back, man. I'll be right back.